So I want to talk about Mychal in the House of David and how she is depicted and how she's just beautifully portrayed by Indy Lewis. In the Bible, we don't get a lot of Mychal. Most famously, we know that she began to despise David because he danced before the Lord and because of the way he presented himself in the presence of the handmaids of his servants. She just saw his actions as very uncouth and unbecoming of a king, the leader of the people, the leader of the aristocracy, and she just wasn't with it. She wasn't having it. And in the House of David, you can tell that they have woven that into her character because she is the very prim and proper and perfect princess, but she deeply cares about the people and she loves God. So if you pair that with how she ends up in the Bible, you can kind of see somewhere along the way with all of the circumstances that pop up that we know happened to her in the Bible, being promised to David and then being taken away from him and then marrying another man and then her entire family dying and then coming back to David and all of these things. You can see how it culminates to the woman that she is at the end of her story in the Bible. But before we get to all of the tragedy, the way that she is portrayed now is so innocent and pure, and it's also just very commanding. She has a very soft power to her, and she does a lot of things in the show that are obvious and subtle that point us to this young woman, this woman who values how the royal family presents and conducts itself to the people. In season 1, when she first meets David and she travels to the lands of Judah for a wedding, Mychal, who is the older sister, she's trying to congratulate the couple on behalf of the house of Saul, but Mychal is just not built for this. So Mychal steps in and she just gives this very effortless speech about how when the house of Saul prospers, the people prosper. When the people are happy, the house of Saul should be happy. So she just really sets up this relationship between the aristocracy and the people. And then when David comes into the palace and he goes into the room where they keep the word of God and the sacred texts, she tells him, you're not supposed to be here. This place is sacred. Like, she's very proper, even though she technically is not supposed to be there either. But she values order. And, he just got into these people's house and he walking all around the people's house. Like, how you just, like, you are a guest. Why are you going all around these people's house? Like, why are you taking a self-tour of the palace? So anyway, she calls him out on it. But then when she realizes that he has a heart for God and he has a heart for the word of God, that is where their relationship starts proper. So she's working on a piece of the text. She's working on the Song of Moses and she's transcribing it and she's reading it. And David reveals that he is not able to worship with the people of Bethlehem, with the tribe of Judah. And when Mychal asks him why he's not able to worship with his people, David kind of sidesteps an answer and he just sits next to her. She kind of like just turns her head and looks at him like, oh, like you just, okay, like I'm the princess and you're just a shepherd boy and you just sitting down by me like you just so comfortable, okay. And you can see like those just little moments where David is not really acting like someone who really recognizes royalty, who knows the ropes of being in the presence of royalty, and we just kind of see her little reactions to that. And then we fast forward to season 2 where they are entering Gibeah after defeating the Philistines, and Saul is presenting David to the people and everybody is chanting David's name and Mychal is joining in on it and everybody's like, David, David, and Mychal is smiling. She's proud of David, but she's not participating in it. She's not chanting his name. She is still comporting herself very prim and proper and composed in the presence of the people, even though she's inwardly very excited. And I just love that they have taken that route with her, because it's going to make the way that she eventually becomes and the way that she eventually looks at David, it's going to make it hit 10 times harder, because we do see this girl who is innocent and who loves the Lord and who wants to serve her family and do right, but it's all going to come crashing down, and they're already presenting it like she blames David for the downfall. So that's already, where she's going wrong, because it's not David's fault. But you can tell in the show that she blames David for how everything is going to end up, and she considers him to be responsible for the downfall of her family. And that is just so unfortunate, but it is a really good way to get us to the Mychal that we see at the end of her story.